Hi again, I'm Janet and welcome to my kitchen. Actually, it's not going to just be my kitchen today because Mr. Farmer Brown is making ribs out on the grill. And in our family, his ribs are famous. So I'm going to talk to you and show you real quickly how I do the prep for his ribs. First off, in Alabama, pork is their thing. I grew up in Texas, and so most of the ribs were beef, but here in Alabama, it's pork, and it's back ribs. I've got it out on a piece of wax paper, and the first thing that you're going to do is you have to get the membrane off of the back of it. Otherwise, it'll be tough, and that's probably going to be the hardest trick. And I'll show you my trick. I use a shish kebab skewer. And what you're going to do, I like to start on the small end, and you're going to have to kind of work to find just the really thin part. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. Alright, I've got a handle on it. So now I'm going to stick my fingers up under there and try to take it all the way across. And I have it. Do you see how thin that is? Now I'm going to grab it and pull. And pull. And pull. All the way to the end. All right. All right, step 2. We're going to put a rub on the ribs, and my rub is a pretty simple one. It's a mixture of paprika, pepper, and brown sugar in equal parts, and then kosher salt in half of that part. So for example, for just one set of ribs here, I have 1/8 of a cup of paprika. I use smoked paprika, you don't have to. 1/8 of a cup of pepper, 1/8 of a cup of brown sugar, and a 1/16 cup of kosher salt. So that's what's in here. So now we're just going to apply it with our hands really well. Step 3, wash your hands. Step 4, I've already cut my ribs in half. So now what you're going to need are 2 aluminum pans. 2 because of the weight, and also because you'll see later on how Randy changes out the pans. So we're going to put the ribs with the bony side up. Step 5, you need some additional seasoning in this pan, and what that's going to be is garlic and half of a yellow onion. So if you're doing 2 ribs, do more onion, do more garlic. As far as the garlic amount's concerned, I like a lot of garlic. So probably I am using about 4 cloves. And I'm just sprinkling that. I'll spread it out eventually, but I just sprinkled it on the back of the ribs like that for now. And we need to cut up an onion. Step 6, now we have the onion cut. So we're simply going to sprinkle it in there. That's all you're going to do. I like to put some on the ribs and then around in the pan. The last thing I do, Randy and I both like our ribs very juicy. So even though this is going to make a lot of juice, I add 1 can of beef broth. Again, if you're making more than 1 set of ribs, like 2 racks, use 2 cans. Really, when you're making these ribs, I would not put more than 3 racks in your pan. You can stack them if you need to. Lastly, you're going to use some heavy duty foil over the top. Okay, guess what? My part's done. Now it's Mr. Farmer Brown's job to cook the rest, which will take about 3.5 to 4 hours. So, join us outside, and he'll take it from here.
I think they're ready. Hey y'all, Farmer Brown here, and welcome to my kitchen. And here we go. We got the fire just right. We're gonna shut her down. We're gonna leave the vent about halfway for medium heat. And I'm done with this for about an hour. See you soon. Alright, been an hour. Let's check. Those Gavarna gloves come in handy. Oh yeah. Now it's just time to pick up the juice, put it back on the top. This is such hard work. Alright, everything's all juiced up again. Wrap it back up. And you'll see you in an hour. Well, at this point, we have taken the ribs off the grill, and charcoal is only going to last so long. So we refurbish the charcoals, and as soon as they get planed out to a medium heat again, we're going to put the ribs back on, rebaste them one more time, and let them sit for 30 minutes. Then we'll be back. All right, we're back. Now it's time for the last step. We'll pull it out, save our oil, and look at that. Yummy. This is why we use 2 pans. If I can get them apart, there we go. We'll pull this one out, and now I'm fixing to attempt to pick them up. Oh my, they're falling apart on me.
They always do.
This is the best way that I have found to cook ribs. Now comes the sweet part. Sweet baby rays. Sweet and spicy. Some good stuff for barbecue. I will take this, squirt it on abundantly. Alright. Then I take the little swishy broom, and I make sure everything's covered really well. The tricky part, I'll try to turn them over. Of course, they're already falling apart, which tells you they are going to be yummy. Melt in your mouth ribs.
Right, we still have some daylight.
Yes, we got a rain delay, just like the Coca-Cola 600. But nevertheless, we're going to have a great finish. All right, see how it looks. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I got to have a piece. This is yummy stuff. Oh, it's good. Okay, last and final time. I'm going to stick this back on here for about 20-30 minutes, and then we'll be ready to rub it down. Surprise! Well folks, let me get rid of these nasty gloves my wife has. piece of foot. Okay. Check out these ribs. Look at there, look at there. And just one thing I forgot to mention. The reason I use 2 pans is because when we're using the beef broth, it tends to crust up the bottom, and I don't want to put the new barbecue in the crusty part. It's just a lot cleaner. It's not much of an expense for a cheap metal pan. Okay, friends, this is the real deal. If you follow the instructions from beginning to end, or even close, I promise you, this will be a meal you'll never forget. This stuff falls apart. It is so tender. Just look at it. It is yummy.